introduce Chris Schulte, Incident Commander, for current fire status.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm Chris Schulte. I'm the Incident Commander for Pacific Northwest Team Number 2. I guess I'd like to start the status by telling you, setting the stage a little bit. 2 days ago, the community of Chelan was visited by a lightning storm, started about 5:30 in the morning. We ended up with 5 new starts out of that. And at that point in time, those things took off so fast that the fire set the tempo for the rest of that entire day. We went into an aggressive initial attack mode with all the different agencies around here. I had just stepped upstairs at a meeting we have. I had never seen agency alignment that was all pointed in the same direction in this fashion. I thought it was a tremendous effort. And believe me, we're critical of it when it doesn't work well, because we want to do it as good as we can every time. So that day the fire set the tempo for us, and we were in a defensive mode, and we were trying to get out in front and do what we call point protection. Yesterday we were still in a point protection mode, but we started to make plans to get into perimeter establishment and longer strategic goals to get this thing all buttoned up for this community and the fire situation calm down. And today in the shift, I predict that the fire will be in pretty darn good shape when it comes to the organization that's in place. A lot of new perimeter will be out there, and the last of the values at risk will have been identified, and plans to protect them will be in place. We are not out of the woods yet. There's still 2 of the fires, the First Creek fire and this fire right out of town, the Reach fire. Both of those still have potential to lose structures today. But we got the best in the West out there looking at it, and we're going to do everything we can to prevent that from happening. We originally arrived here on the Wolverine fire, which was a combination of the Wolverine and the Blankenship. And then at one point the National Park Service asked us if we could help them with the Goody fire. So for a little while we had 3. The Wolverine fire is currently at about 38,000 acres, a little more than that. And it's been cooperating with us. It's been parked on the check lines we put in it, with a couple of exceptions where it's rolled over some of the high country and into more high country, but there are a lot of natural features up in that ground, and it doesn't prioritize at all with what's happening down here to the south in and amongst these structures. That's where our emphasis is. We have a very efficient group still up in the Holden Village area, making sure that everything we've done in there stays done correctly in there. But the rest of that fire is unstaffed because we brought it all down here to get our priority and our attention on these structures down here. So let's see, we'll come down the lake shore from the Wolverine fire, past 25 Mile Camp, and down to First Creek, where we have a good firefight going in there. And we've had troops on that now all night long, all day yesterday, and they're all back in there in force today. As I mentioned earlier, we still have a chance of losing some structures on that fire today, but I talked with the branch director, and I know the operations chief. They're putting a lot of attention out there. Well, it's just it's going to be a touch and go on a couple of spots because they haven't got the best of topography to work with quite yet. End of the day, that fire should be looking pretty darn good, but it's still part of the equation. These 3 fires in here are the Antoine, Cagle, and Reach fire. As the sun went down that first day, they all joined together. And they jumped the Columbia River, I understand it, as if there was no Columbia River even there. My deputy IC was down there. He said the fire didn't even hesitate. It jumped straight across the river, spotted, ran up the slope, and off to the races without even, the river had no impact on that braided spread. And it's a good 30,000 acres on the other side over in Douglas County right now that we're working on. So actually I say we're working on it. Right now we're very reliant on the Douglas County fire districts that are over there, and BLM is over there, and they're helping us take the lead on that whole thing. It's working real good. So let's see, yesterday also we went to a meeting and we've talked with the incident management teams that are in charge. So basically we're all communicating fires from Chelan all the way to the Canadian border. And yesterday we drew lines on a map so we wouldn't have any mistakes as to where we were, who was responsible for what. and we assume the command and control factor for 2 additional fires, the Black Canyon Fire and the Squaw Fire. So our team is reliant on another group of firefighters that are up there, but we are connected with them and we're all working on the same plan. I just got off the phone with the incident commander from that fire, or excuse me, he is the branch director for that fire. I'm the incident commander on that fire, but he's going to take care of it all. But he and I are talking. I just agreed to have a conference call every day at 4:30 so I can keep my bosses informed. So that's one of the biggest things we do when we're involved with one of these responses, is keep everybody tuned in to what's going on the ground so that they can make sure that their interests are being protected. If I may, we just got out of a cooperators meeting, that's what we call it, but we have every stakeholder, cooperator, agency that's got their focus on this emergency comes to these meetings, and we discuss for about an hour everything that we can imagine has gone according to plan and things that might go wrong so we can avoid it. We follow up on it. It's a great part of the process. It's one of our more important meetings, is making sure all the agencies are in line.